morning. Welcome to this edition of the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show. I feel like we have a lot to celebrate this morning on the show. We're going to celebrate hair. We're going to talk about an amazing event coming up celebrating hair and so much more. And then we have two plays we're going to talk about, both ends of the spectrum. One is a production coming up at a church that is a big part of this community. And then the other, which is where we begin today, is another amazing production coming, of all places, New Horizon Theater, big part of this community. Joyce Megerson Moore is here. She always brings us great stuff. And one of the performers in this upcoming, well, actually, I say upcoming, but it's actually in production.
That's right.
Brendan Pfeiffer.
Piper.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer. All right.
You got
Welcome
it.
to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
I think
us.
it wanted to come out as Pfeiffer because when I was in college, one of our dorms was called Pfeiffer Hall.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about Too Heavy for Your Pocket.
Too Heavy for Your Pocket is about this young man who has to make a decision about whether he will go on the Freedom Ride or stay at home with his family. And the Freedom Rides, you know, down in, well, he's in Nashville, Nashville, Tennessee. And so he has to make a decision. It's like a life-altering decision. He has a scholarship for college, this 20-year-old man. And should I try to make this change for my community and risk losing my family, or should I just lose my family and go on this Freedom Ride?
Wow,
And
so that's
so
an emotional decision.
It is, and then it's about relationships too.
So are you this young man?
No.
No,
Actually,
okay,
I
because you're
play his
nodding
best
your
friend.
head over here.
Yeah, I play the best friend of him. So the main character she's discussing is Bosie Brandon, and I
Okay.
play his best friend, Tony Carter. And Tony, originally when I was looking at the character, he was, you know, your kind of typical blue-collar man. He didn't really focus on his education, and he's all about providing for his family. And Bosie is, to him, his family, kind of like a brother. And, you know, whether or not Bosie decides to go on this Freedom Ride in the South is kind of Tony's internal conflict of, you know, whether or not he wants to see his best friend go and fight for his people and fight for their civil liberties and their rights, or, you know, he wants him to stay home and stay safe and not deal with the dangers of being in the deep, deep South in the early 60s.
So this is a conflict for you as well.
Yeah, it's a conflict of basically keeping my family together and keeping the relationships, as she discussed. You know, the relationships are, I think, one of the main things that can draw people into this show is that you see two young couples that have such a bond and such a loving friendship that, you know, when one thing doesn't go according to plan, how can things kind of change and have a negative impact, and drama ensues from there.
Joyce, you never make this easy. You never, New
I tell
Horizon
you,
Theater never makes this easy.
We have some great discussions afterwards too, particularly from the single women and men in the audience. And they make a decision about whether they like this character, Tony's character. And so, you know,
wait, so we may not like
I
you?
tell you, they may not like
Yeah,
him.
yeah, there's a chance that you don't. Without giving
okay.
too much away,
Yeah,
you know, he definitely has you know, done wrong in his past, and I think that's probably one of the things that's relatable to him. We're all human. Everybody makes mistakes, and Tony's big thing is, you know, you can make the mistake, you can forgive, but not forget, and still try to move forward. And Tony's all about moving forward and leaving the past in the past and just trying to carry on with his life.
Okay.
But the ladies in the audience don't see it that way.
Yes.
So wait a minute.
so
that's not because we're not forgiving, though, right?
I'm not sure. In talking with it afterwards, they're still standing out there. And they said, you should have had a talk back. I said, no, then we would have been here 2 hours longer. Because the play itself runs 2 hours with a 15-minute intermission.
Okay, all right.
And I said, no, you know, we would still be here. So it's really, it's really a play with conflict, and it's also, you know, you can take a look at the Freedom Riders and see what his purpose was in wanting to lead. Because sometimes we end up forgetting our history, and you go back and you see some of the things that the Freedom Riders did, and you know, it brings you back to the historical part of this play, which it was supposed to be, and it is, but it does that, and it does the conflicts too.
Well, you know, the other thing is we often look at history, but we don't process the personal or the human sacrifice that's a part of that that historical time.
You got it.
Because there is a human price that you pay.
And Bosie shows that human part too in his role. It's played by Maurice Redwood. He's been in some of
okay.
our plays in the past. And then we have 3 new people in the play, like Brendan Pfeiffer. We got Hope Anthony and Jada Johnson. And they are new to New Horizon Theater. We're happy to have all this wonderful talent
Oh, how
on
exciting.
stage. It is
Yeah,
exciting.
How exciting. Awesome. All right, let's go through the logistics. Now, you opened on the 7th of February, correct?
And we run through the 23rd of February.
Okay.
Friday, Saturdays at 7:30, Sundays at 3 p.m., and Saturdays at 3 p.m.
Okay.
And they can call us if they need a parking pass, because I can email a parking pass for them so that they can get in without any problems with parking.
Okay, and
We're
how
at
do we get
Fox School.
tickets? And you're back at Fox
We're
School?
at Fox
Okay.
School, and you can get tickets online at brownpapertickets.com, or you can go to Dorsey's on Frankstown, or you can call New Horizon Theater at 412-431-0773. and
Okay,
order
and
your
you're still
tickets.
offering group prices,
Great
maybe
group
some school
prices
groups?
at 10 or
and-
more, school prices, and then some of the groups can discuss this play from the historical aspect with the Freedom Riders with their students.
Now, give me an idea. Let's talk about age. What age appropriate?
I would say, I believe we talked about 7th graders and up, would you think?
Okay,
I would
all
say
right, that
7th
sounds
graders
good.
and up.
Say
That's
about
middle,
PG-13.
is that middle
Okay,
school?
yeah, middle school. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay, all right.
Yeah, so.
All right,
We
so-
believe that they can get a lot out of it, and then they can discuss it too from, as I say, historical standpoint, not just the relationship, but just tie it all in together.
All right, it goes until the
So,
23rd.
to the 23rd of February.
And I may or may
So-
not like you after this.
Hey, that's for you to decide.
I was gonna say, you got this friendly face, but I'm not sure whether I'm gonna like you or
Tony's
not.
he's a loving man, but you know it's just the respect factor that he needs to sprinkle in there a little bit.
In other words, Tony's got some issues. Tony's got some
Maybe.
issues. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you
Lindsay.
so much
Thank
for
you,
having
Lynn.
us.
We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking hair. Yeah, I don't have much of it, but we're talking hair. Don't go away when the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show continues.